audience. Okay, so it all started with a bus. Okay. So who was Rosa Parks and what she stood for is what we're going to be discussing today. Okay, so according to the U.S. official news, about 75% of the public transportation customers in Montgomery, Alabama were African American. Then, according to American Decades, 100% of African Americans who rode on public transportation participated in a boycott in 1955. So who was Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks stood up for what she believed in, which changed the lives of many. And however, she promoted change, but she had to go through a lot of suffering to get to where she is, well, what she made happen today. Okay. So Rosa Parks' parents were James and Leona McCauley. They both were farmers. However, they did have a second job working as a teacher, and teacher was the mother, and then the carpenter is what her father did as a second job as well. Right? And a little later on in life, she and her mother and her two brothers went to go live with their grandmother due to complications between her mom and her dad, and she got a lot of her inspiration from both of them. And then at the age of 16, Rosa Parks dropped out of school in order to support her family due to her mother being ill. And when she did that, she learned how to type and sew to help support them. Okay, so a quote that I like by Rosa Parks is that, "I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear." Okay, so this is kind of how it all started. So Rosa married Raymond Parks in 1932, and Raymond was a barber back then as well. So Rosa, she kind of did a little bit of civil activist before, but when she met Raymond, she joined the NAACP, and that kind of helped her be more active in bringing upon change and equality. And then she started off by helping African Americans pass a literacy test so that they could gain the right to vote and have that option. A little fun fact is that Rosa Parks took the test 3 times. The first time she passed, and she was told that her voting card would be mailed to her. However, it didn't come, so she went to take the test again, and they told her that she failed, but she didn't have the opportunity to see her results or see what she failed on. So she went to take it again, and they told her she passed. But this time she took pictures, she wrote it down, and made sure that she saw her results this time, and could bring up the pictures and stuff to say, "No, I passed, I have proof," to get her card to vote. Alright, so on December 1955, on her way to work, Rosa Parks decided not to give up her seat. So back then, if the bus was full and all the front seats were all filled up, African Americans had to get up so that the white males could have a seat, and if they did not, they were punished for it. So since she didn't give up her seat, she was arrested and convicted for breaking segregation laws. And in return, she had to pay like $14 in fees, and she also had to pay for going to court and all that as well. Right? And then, like I mentioned before, 75% of African Americans were the public transportation customers, and 100% of the African Americans decided to boycott the public transportation so that they can be more equal in getting a seat and finding a place to sit. And that resulted in them ending segregation laws on the public transportation because they started to go bankrupt due to this. So then on December 1956, Rosa Parks was able to ride in the front of the bus, and they had that freedom to do so now. With that being said, there was tons of struggles that Rosa Parks had to go through. In result of this, she lost her job, and she was unable to find another one. She was harassed, she had plenty of death threats, but she still managed to move forward. She actually moved to Detroit because, like I mentioned, she was unable to find a job. And there, she finally did find a job, but there, little later on, she lost her brother, her mother, and her spouse due to cancer. And that was in between the years of 1977 and 1979. And then later, she faced more struggles in 1994 because a robber had broken into her house and stole around $50 and attacked her. So she had to be hospitalized due to that, even though her name was well known for being an activist and all that. Okay. And then another statement that I like from Rosa Parks is that each person must live their life as a model for others. And then I do have a little video here for you. A statement in the Unwired text by Lextran General Manager Carrie Butler. She stated that in reserving a seat for her, we honor her bravery and convictions. And then I'll show you that video real quick. Just show you on my phone.
Happening tomorrow, Lextran will reserve one seat on each bus in honor of Rosa Parks. The seats will feature a poster with a picture of Parks, as well as a QR code courtesy of the Lexington Public Library, which will direct riders to books about Parks. The poster will also include a brief explanation about why they're doing this. The honorary seats will be reserved each day until Friday. Tomorrow is Rosa Parks' birthday.
Okay, so in the video you kind of see how people all came together and, you know, reserved that one seat for her in honor of what she did for people, and it kind of just showed how well she was at bringing upon change. Okay, and so with her impact, she began the civil rights movement. She got people to really stand up for what they believed in, and looking in her life, you see that she didn't really have any special privileges. She wasn't rich. You know, her family had to make 2 jobs to be able to make ends meet, but she managed to do what she could to stand up for what she believed in.